Yeah, man. Up in this thing, trying something out, trying something new out. Just wanted to welcome y'all back to another show. Welcome back to Marlon Speaks Live, where we pretty much speak our mind here, pretty much speak about current events, current and historical events, historical facts. That's basically what this episode is about. We're gonna tie it in with relevant new stuff, new news, and basically try to correlate the old with the new. So here go a video from Paul Lance. Just caught this yesterday, and felt like it'd be something relevant to speak about, something relevant to share with the viewers on here. So y'all check it out.
There's a group of people that couldn't stomach a black man sitting in the White House instead of picking their cotton, and they lost their shit. It broke their brains. You got a bunch of these white supremacist red hatters, make America white again, that have this idea that they're always the victim of something. And they saw something that didn't look like everybody that they've ever grown up around. A bunch of white supremacists everywhere. And it broke their brains. So they went back to what they know, the plantation owner, because it made them feel good. And then we had a little bump on the road with Joe Biden, old white guy. And then you came to Vice President Harris. And that really triggered a lot of people. There is that group of people that would rather this country burn to the ground than ever vote for a black woman. As hard as it is for that to say and hear, it's the truth. They're intimidated by strong black women. It scares the shit out of them. And I do a lot of lives on TikTok, and I'm going to tell you right now, some of the smartest people in this country are black women. That's a fact. That's not an opinion. I don't want to hear a damn thing about it. That is the fact, truth. They're smart, they're intelligent, they're wise. And if they were running this country, we wouldn't be in this shithole right now that we are right now. If we don't address this as a country, it's not going to matter if the red team or the blue team wins. It doesn't matter. And for everybody that has their head up their ass, that wears a red hat, you white supremacists that want to say this is a Christian nation, when? See, you lack critical thinking and you have concepts of brain cells. Let's look at the great Christian nation that you call Christian, okay? Let's look at it from the white man's perspective. First, we stole black people on a ship, and many of them died on the way over here from horrible diseases. And then they got over here, and then we showed them some Christian love, and we kept them as slaves. And if they got out of line, we whipped them. And if they really misbehaved, we put them in vats of hot sugar. And if they were really bad, we put them in trees while we had church service and walked around. Our God is an awesome God. Look at this great Christian service. The pastors and the sheriffs were in charge of the KKK. And then, before that, we shit on the Native Americans. Right? We kicked them off their land. They walked 1,200 miles. Between 12 and 16,000 of them passed away. Dysentery, starvation, horrible stuff. But what do we call it? The Great Westward Expansion. Yeehaw! Because we, America, land of the free. F everybody else. Screw them. The white man's in charge. And then we steal the land from Hawaii. Then we stole the land from the Mexicans. And then we put Asians in internment camps. And even in the 1860s, the Supreme Court said that black people weren't citizens, even though they were born here on their third or fourth generation. So you tell me, when the founding fathers that you worship like their gods designed this country, they owned black people. They said that a black man was worth 3/5 of a person. And they designed it for only one demographic to have any rights or be treated like human beings. 21-year-old landowning white men. Now you tell me, if we're all made in the image of God, how in the hell is that a Christian nation? See, because what we did to a lot of youth in this country is we've indoctrinated them, okay? We're raised in American flag diapers. We go to school and we worship this flag as if it's a goddamn deity. Oh, Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, yes, sir. Freedom, freedom, freedom. And then we have our freedom Wheaties, right? And then we feed our pet bald eagle before we go to school or work. And then we polish our Constitution and 8 million trillion American flags. And then we turn on God Bless America. And we got our guns because nothing says I'm American, because I have to have a gun to feel like a real man because I have a small penis. That's nationalism. And what we've done is that we've told people that this is a Christian nation. What that means to the MAGA base is white America. And what they do is they cherry pick the Bible, which I happen to believe in, and they pick certain verses that demonizes groups of people that they feel are less than, right? Oh, it's a trans person. Oh, it's drag show readings. How many mass shootings have been done at drag show readings? Less than 1% of the gun violence has been trans people. 98% are men. 98% of gun violence between 40 and 47,000 are men. The vast majority are white men, U.S. citizens. Yet I don't see you going after the white men. How about January 6th? The vast majority were white men, U.S. citizens, and I don't hear you going after them. I didn't hear you horrifying and crying over what happened to Ahmaud Arbery, a black man that was chased down by 3 white guys. Why is that? Where was your spiritual awakening then? But what you did do is this. You took Lincoln Riley and you used her as a martyr because she was a white girl and he was a brown person, and it fed into your fear-mongering. And you pulled out your white victim card and you find some way to be a victim. And you did the same thing last week in Utah. The reason these people got triggered last week in Utah is because they didn't think that the darkness would come over their front doorstep. They thought that other people would suffer the consequences of their words. And for the first time, they got a fraction of an inch of what it's like to be treated like a black person in this country. A fraction of an inch. And it scared the hell out of them. So they pulled out their white victim card once again. I'm the victim. I'm the victim. I mean, are you out of your damn mind? Do you all need to go get a psychiatric check? You need to seek some mental help. See, the problem with you fake Christians is this. You had no problem saying, oh, I can't judge people, right? But then you voted for a man who's an adjudicated rapist, convicted felon, insurrection, cheats on his wife, stole top secret documents, stole from cancer charities, insults disabled people, grabbed women by the PUSSY, says he wants to date his daughter, and does horrible atrocities to little girls. But hey, the white man, praise Jesus, hey, nobody's perfect. But if a black man takes a knee before the American flag, somehow he's a son of a bitch. It's about white supremacy. And for all of you content creators on the left out there, and I'm not even a Democrat, I think both parties suck. For all of you that are grifting out there, shame on you. Because you're using your platform for one thing, to whore yourself out for capitalism. You put bright little yellows, letters and arrows, and is this the end? Oh my gosh, did he really say this? Oh, this is the end of this person. It's all bullshit. It's all performative theatrics. It's rage bait.
A lot of it is.
Until we deal with white supremacy, nothing is going to matter. This is the fundamental root cause of this country. And when you look at like the documentary for Hurricane Katrina, what happened after the recovery? Some of those parishes that were predominantly black, what happened? They doubled and they tripled the rent. Gentrification. Why is that? Gee, I wonder. Oh, who could afford the houses? The white people. That's right. Because black people don't get treated the same as white people. And for all of you that are poor, that goes, you're waiting for your privilege to kick in. Shut the fuck up. Just because you're poor doesn't mean you don't have privilege. Has your house been redlined by the bank? Has your house been appraised at a lower price? Do people cross the street when you come down the street? Have you ever been pulled over for being white? Have you ever been called the N-word? Have you ever had to get to talk to your kids? Shut the hell up. Pick yourself up by the goddamn bootstraps. Go take it up with Jesus. Thoughts and prayers. Your capitalistic situation, you can both be poor, but you still are treated differently based on what you look like. That is the definition of privilege. And if you don't like it, then go and put your head back up your ass. But I'm telling you right now, these people aren't Christians, they are Pharisees. We must address the original sin of this country, which is white supremacy. And no, this country has never been great for everybody. Can it be? I hope so, but it hasn't been. And for all of you that still want to bitch and moan and cry, goes, Paul, if you don't like it, you can leave. If you don't like it, you can ship your ass back to England.
Wow.
Look, Trump did a lot of stuff.
Wow. That was pretty deep, man. That was pretty deep. Now, what I wanted to add, just like what my title say, Nazi Germany, pretty much Nazi Germany pretty much modeled everything that they got or that they did on what America did to the black people. They modeled everything that happened in Nazi Germany with the Jewish people. They modeled everything Hitler learned from America. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's something that has been documented. He studied how America treated our people and applied it to the Jewish people. The only difference between us and the Jewish people, of course, is we have this melanin, right? We have this melanin. They, could be confused with white people. You can't just look at a Jewish person and say that they are Jewish. But, with us, you automatically can see it. So, but the brutality, a lot of how he herded them all together, that was based on a lot of what America did and still does. The good thing about Nazi Germany is everything got bombed out. They got rid of their dictator and everything. But had they not been doing what they did to the Jewish people, or should I say at war with England, America was pulled into that war. Had Pearl Harbor never happened, they would have never went to war. America did not want to get in that war. They didn't want to get in that war. They wanted to stay neutral. So yeah, I wanted to add to what the I want to take it back to what he was saying. Take it back to what he was saying. There's some points that I want to touch on. Okay, this is really a test run. I'm really trying to just figure this stuff out. I got this new streaming setup. Basically just trying to figure this out. All right. Okay. Sound okay. All right. Back to what I was about to do though.
We're here for one reason, okay? We're here for one reason, okay? There's a group of people that couldn't stomach a black man sitting in the White House instead of picking their cotton, and they lost their shit. It broke their brains.
All right, I want to start. We're going to break it down. Now, I'm an expert at this. So, we feel this every day here in America. We feel the hate. I got foreign cars, I own homes. I could tell you, even my coworkers, we make the same amount of money, and a lot of them can't stand to see me up in there making the same amount of money they make and living better than them. Yeah, they be upset with me all day at work. They hate to see me pulling up. They hate it. They hate my black ass. Yeah, even my supervisors, police when I'm on my way to work. They be mad. I think they think I sell dope. I think they do. Yep, I never sold no drugs in my life. Always took care of my kids. Just like I said the other day, it was a statistic. We got other statistics here now, not just the Charlie Kirk statistics. We got other statistics that says our people are the most involved fathers here in America. Yeah. Look around. When I look around, that's pretty much, I see a whole lot of single white women out here. And I've been seeing them. My whole life I've been seeing them. I don't see the daddy nowhere. Whole lot of bum white dudes. All I see is a bunch of bum white dudes. Everywhere I go, a bunch of bums. So, but see, this the thing. We not looking to prove to nobody else that we in our kids' lives or prove to nobody else that we stable and taking care of our business. It's y'all trying to disprove it, trying to undermine, trying to make it like, oh, we so messed up. We the criminals. Yes, a lot of our people that commit crimes, for sure. I will say that. I know a lot of them, a bunch of them that commit crimes. But trust me, it's a whole lot of us out here being functional in our kids' lives. And let's play the rest of this.
You got a bunch of these white supremacist red hatters, make America white again, that have this idea that they're always the victim of something. And they saw something that didn't look like everybody that they've ever grown up around. A bunch of white supremacists everywhere.
No, that right there, that's connected to white flight. And that's exactly what I've been saying. The white on white crime that's going on right now, that's pretty much based on these people, this fear that this generation got. It comes from like their grandparents and great grandparents, the ones that white flight, the ones that moved from the city to the suburbs. The suburbs is pretty much new. I don't know if y'all know, but a lot of what we call the suburbs are developments that came after World War II, and they were only given to white people. So that's why most of the suburbs are only white, because FDR made sure him and all the people, all the presidents that came after him, for the most part, anyway, they signed it to some legislation, but they had to do it because a lot of the states in the South would not go with this stuff unless it had some language in there that excluded our people at that time. We're talking about the 40s. So, what you have in the suburbs is basically all white people. But guess what? 2, 3, 4 generations after being in the suburbs just with white people starting to turn on white people. They've actually been doing it. They just, in the suburbs, what I learned when I stayed in the all white suburb is they got a whole lot of PR. They got good PR. They run good PR. They pretty much silence a bunch of the crime that's going on. They don't want nobody to know what's going on. When I stayed in Tennessee, it was a bunch of addictions. You would never see who was dying on these streets of Spring Hill, Tennessee. You wouldn't see that because they would never publish it. They want to keep the property values up. Forget about the people value. It's all about the property value. That's what these suburbs represent, just property value. Long as people can keep their property value up, that's it. They don't care about, there's a lot of people suffering in these nice looking homes. They suffering, they barely making it, they barely eating. They look good, but they barely making it. It's a whole lot of poor, rich looking folks that stay out in these suburbs, and they're starting to hit the fan, and they can't blame nobody else. But what they're trying to do is blame black people. That's what they're trying to do. They want to blame us, just like in Nazi Germany. When all else fails, let's blame the Jewish people. That's what happened in Nazi Germany. That's what I mean by America got a lot of its ideology, or Germany got a lot of its ideology from America. And then now, see, America's still behaving like that. So it's just, we had industry. We had, we was the only country that wasn't bombed out after World War II. So we had the great 50s, the great, half of the 60s, great, when America was great, you know what I'm saying? That was only because we didn't have no competition. So now when everything started to slow down, starting in the mid to late 60s, 70s, 80s onward, this is where you get this today. You get the whole, well, let's just blame everything on black people, right? But it all accelerated after Obama got in the White House. It all accelerated. Let's listen to Paul one more time. I love his perspective.
And it broke their brains. So they went back to what they know, the plantation owner, because it made them feel good. And then we had a little bump on the road with Joe Biden, old white guy. And then you came to Vice President Harris. And that really triggered a lot of people. There is that group of people that would rather this country burn to the ground than ever vote for a black woman. As hard as it is for that to say and hear, it's the truth. They're intimidated by strong black women.
Yeah, that's a fact. And you know why? Now, America historically has done some horrible things to black people. But our black women, they have done the worst things too. Rape, you talking about rape. You talking about, all the things that was happening to black people, but to top it off, rape, taking babies and killing them and just doing some real atrocious things. The women, the white women hated black women because they knew that they was having babies with their husbands. So a lot of the hate that modern day white people have inherited that's from ancestors from that era, it's deep. It's real deep. And so, and then you fast forward, you keep fast forwarding all the way up into the 1900s, all the way up to 1980. this misnomer or this lie that black women are welfare queens, black women are dumb, they ghetto, they fast, they just promiscuous, all of this. But quietly behind the scenes, black women are the most educated. They are the most knowledgeable. They are the most spiritual. They are most in tune with their families. The most, they stand up to their men. They're not floor mats. They don't let men walk all over them. They stand up for themselves. They're real powerful people. So yeah, of course, white America would feel threatened by a black woman, especially when they had this misconception about them. They really thought that they could make black women feel less than about themselves. And the whole time, all it was building them up. Now you had like we just seen, we had a black woman running for president. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's keep going.
Scares the shit out of them. And I do a lot of lives on TikTok, and I'm going to tell you right now, some of the smartest people in this country are black women. That's a fact. That's not an opinion. I don't want to hear a damn thing about it. That is the fact truth. They're smart, they're intelligent, they're wise. And if they were running this country, we wouldn't be in this shithole right now that we are right now.
Right about that, man. Black women, man, I have been with only black women. Now I didn't hit some white women. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't hit a few. I ain't gonna lie. I heard Charleston White say some shit so crazy. This motherfucker said, man, how can you be racist when white women pussy so good? He said, no, man. Nah, hell no. Yeah. No. Man, I heard him say that, man. I fell out. But the point of it is, black women, I only have kids with black women, right? I only have kids with them. So black women, man, if you just sit back and let a black woman do what she do, you're gonna have a happy life. You gotta be a man though. You gotta be upright. You gotta be a man. You can't be half, you can't be tiptoeing. You gotta be all the way in. But if you all the way in and you allow a black woman to lead the way, to be that black woman she was born to be into her purpose, man, you're going to have a happy life, man. The babies, everything goes smooth. That's just my experience with a black, but I'm sure all black women not like the black woman I attract. But just my experience with the beautiful, intelligent, in tune, spiritual, financially aware, women that just, these women not perfect, but they want to learn. I've been with black women that want to be better, that want to get better. And that's pretty much the spirit, what I say, of any person. And y'all know what I say on her, everybody black. So, my perspective, we all the same. And I'm going to add that to this because a lot of what he's saying is simply based on that old, misconception of people not knowing who we really are. He talking about the problem. I'm talking about the solution. All right, check it out.
If we don't address this as a country, it's not going to matter if the red team or the blue team wins. It doesn't matter. And for everybody that has their head up their ass, that wears a red hat, you white supremacists that want to say this is a Christian nation, win. See, you lack critical thinking and you have concepts of brain cells. Let's look at the great Christian nation that you call Christian, okay? Let's look at it from the white man's perspective. First, we stole black people on a ship, and many of them died on the way over here from horrible diseases. And then they got over here, and then we showed them some Christian love, and we kept them as slaves. And if they got out of line, we whipped them. And if they really misbehaved, we put them in vats of hot sugar. And if they were really bad, we put them in trees while we had church service and walked around. Our God is an awesome God. Look at this great.
Yeah, that's how wicked that is. And that's happening right now. That's the next video that I'm about to do. on the lynching that just happened. That's directly related to that anchor, that Fox News anchor. He incited hate. I'm sure he heard of it. He probably don't even want to acknowledge it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, these same so-called white Christian nationalist people, these are the devils. These are the devils. Just like that movie, Book of Eli. You know, I just saw somebody recently that the Book of Eli already happened. You know, the bad guys wanted to get their hands on that book, on the Bible, to manipulate people. That already happened. The bad guys got their hand on the book and started manipulating people and using it to hurt people. And that's basically what the so-called white Christian nationalist people doing. They've been doing it. They've been doing it. They put religion in our hands, raped us, you know, sold us, you know, got free labor, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't nothing new, man. This ain't nothing new. This is so old. It's so old. And, you know, it's just sickening that a lot of what we think of as new, like, online hate and new online rhetoric, it's as old as this country is. Let's get some more, man. Like what this dude said.
Christian service. The pastors and the sheriffs were in charge of the KKK. And then, before that, we shit on the Native Americans. Right? We kicked them off their land. They walked 1,200 miles. Between 12 and 16,000 of them passed away. Dysentery, starvation, horrible stuff. But what do we call it? The Great Westward Expansion. Yeehaw! Because we, America, land of the free. F everybody else. Screw them. The white man's in charge. And then we steal the land from Hawaii. Then we stole the land from the Mexicans. And then we put Asians in internment camps. And even in the 1860s, the Supreme Court said that black people weren't citizens.
And this is the only thing that I don't agree with him about, you know, because a lot of these white YouTubers, they get on here and it's almost like, I don't know about y'all, but I kind of take it like they, you know, putting shit in our face, you know, like, yeah, that's what they did. That's what they did. That's what we did. That's what we did to y'all. And it's like, it feel kind of weird sometimes when I hear these guys. It's almost like they bragging about it. And as much as he's saying that other people made videos for clickbait and all of this, it's like he doing the same thing, right? So I just be reading between the lines of a lot of this stuff because it's like, you know what? You know, talk about the solution, man. You know, all of y'all, like everybody seem to be focused on the problem. Now, my solution, I'm gonna offer my solution. My solution is everybody getting in tune with where we all came from. Everybody getting in tune with the fact that we all black. Everybody is black. Everybody. I just told my niece last night. She said she had a young white student in her class picking on her. So I told her to tell her everybody black next time she deal with this student. You know, everybody originally from Africa. That's a fact. DNA wise, we all from Africa. So it ain't no difference. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. That's the thing that that we all need to understand. Once we get a grip on where we all come from, then we can build from there. You know what I'm saying? That's why 23andMe DNA search is so popular and so powerful because people get an idea where they came from. You know what I'm saying? So if we start to get in tune with history, the history that we all know exists now, we can all start there. That's the beginning. We all start at the very beginning. We don't got to go off no religious books no more. We can go off true DNA facts. Yeah, we don't have to go off no books, no Islam, no Christianity, no Allah, no Jesus, no Torah, no Buddha, none of that. All these books man-made. We got evidence that God made us all. We all come from the same place. So as much as I get with this guy, his point, you know, he wanna raise some concern. It is a reason to raise some concern, but he parroting the same thing that everybody else been parroting. We know all of this stuff. What's new? You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. Like this DNA information isn't even new. We all know, most people know this by now, but no one is talking about it. And I wonder why nobody is talking about this, even the left or right, blacks or whites, nobody. You know, you see a lot of black people on YouTube that can seem like they complain and same complaints. And I keep hearing, one of my favorite movies is Unbreakable with Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis. And Samuel L. Jackson, he was waiting to hear a group of certain words from all them atrocities, all the things, all these crimes he had committed. He was waiting. There's one miraculous. He was waiting for some words, and he kept committing these crimes, waiting to hear these words. And he knew when he heard it was one survivor of that crash, that train crash that Bruce Willis was in, that he was on to something. So same thing with me. I'm waiting to hear somebody say, man, we all black. Everybody black. But I said, you know what? I'm going to start my own channel and I'm going to start saying it. Everybody black. Everybody need to go back to Africa. Asians, blacks, whites, Native Americans, Mexicans, we all originate from Africa. And it's proof. Like, it's proof. We all should embrace that. That's why, like I said earlier, I don't celebrate Black Lives Matter, because we all black, right? I do not celebrate Juneteenth, because black people don't mean slaves. Black people mean God. Black people mean the first people on earth. That's what black people mean. Black people just simply mean the very first people on earth. That's it. That's all we represent. The very first people on earth. Nothing more, nothing less. We don't represent no slavery. Slavery is like a little piece, and that ain't even really history compared to how long we've been on this earth. You know what I mean? We was in slavery less than the amount of time that the black Moorish people was in Europe and had the Europeans enslaved. They had them enslaved for 700 years. Africans had Europeans enslaved for 700 years. Our people was enslaved for 400 years. So if anybody should be celebrating slavery, it should be the white people. But white people actually do celebrate the end of slavery. And that's 1492. The same year that they came over here was the same year that the Africans left Europe. So that's partly why they celebrate a lot of things with dates over here, because it just so happened to coincide with a lot of the dates that the Moorish people who were from Africa was finally kicked out of Europe with the Battle of Granada. Yeah, so I don't think we should be celebrating Juneteenth, because we more than some goddamn slaves. We represent life itself. We represent God at the end of the day. That's why, like, one of my commenters yesterday said, can he call me a nigga? And I said, no, you could call me God. That's what you could call me. I'm not no nigga. That's something that white people made for us. That's something that white people want to call themselves now. You know, and Ben should have been calling themselves that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing that don't denote what we represent. We represent God. And we do not talk like this. We don't talk like that amongst each other most of the time. This just a disclaimer to anybody that want to know. We don't say the N-word to each other most of the time. Most of the time, we speak like very intelligent adults when we amongst each other. Now, when we trying to stress certain words, we might, with certain people, we might, but with most people that we close to, once we get older, the mature ones like myself anyway, we do not use that word. Yeah, Let me get back to what this guy's saying.
Even though they were born here on their third or fourth generation. So you tell me, when the founding fathers that you worship like their gods designed this country, they owned black people. They said that a black man was worth 3/5 of a person. And they designed it for only one demographic to have any rights or be treated like human beings. 21-year-old landowning white men. Now you tell me, if we're all made in the image of God, how in the hell is that a Christian nation?
Now, he just said something that I agree with. We all made in the image of God. That's why I say I'm God. That's exactly why I say I'm God, because we all made in the image of God. He's just like him, I'm going the wrong way. Just like him, we're made in the image of God. All of us are made in the image of God, just like him. All of us. So, but when I say that black man is God, we were made first. So actually everybody used to be black. So like that's, oh man, hold on, y'all.
See, because what we did to a lot of youth in this country is we've indoctrinated them, okay? We're raised in American flag diapers. We go to school and we worship this flag as if it's a goddamn deity. Oh, Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, yes, sir. Freedom, freedom, freedom. And then we have our freedom Wheaties, right? And then we feed our pet bald eagle before we go to school or work. And then we polish our Constitution and 8 million trillion American flags. And then we turn on God Bless America. And we got our guns because nothing says I'm American, because I have to have a gun to feel like a real man because I have a small penis. That's nationalism. And what we've done is that we've told people that this is a Christian nation. What that means to the MAGA base is white America. And what they do is they cherry pick the Bible, which I happen to believe in. And they pick certain verses that demonizes groups of people that they feel are less than, right? Oh, it's a trans person. Oh, it's drag show readings. How many mass shootings have been done at drag show readings? Less than 1% of the gun violence has been trans people. 98% are men. 98% of gun violence between 40 and 47,000 are men. The vast majority are white men, U.S. citizens. Yet I don't see you going after the white men. How about January 6th?
And that's what I was speaking about, man. I was speaking about the white on white crime. You know, like, if we're gonna be honest, man, we gotta address that. Like, the white on white crime here is definitely, even if it's not nothing like physically happening, it's always something mentally happening. Like, it's always in the back of everybody's brain what a white person can and will do. You know what I'm saying? That's really what violence starts in the mind. Just like with sex starts in the mind. You know, it begins and ends in the mind. Violence begins and ends in the mind. You know what I mean? It's all up here. And from my experience, 48 years on earth, seemed like the white man got a lot of violence on his mind. So even if he's not physically doing nothing, that's the thing. That's the biggest difference between white men violence and black men violence. Majority black men violence, they make a split decision. They don't be thinking. They do some crazy shit. And based on the circumstances that they might be in, based on the lifestyle that they might be living, they might just do some dumbass shit. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of white men, they sit and they think and be calculated with their violence. Now, that's true violence. A lot of what we think of as black violence, black on black violence, it be based off all emotion, 100%. emotion, just not being able to control their emotions and acting out, and or on drugs. Yeah, so a lot of. Oh, you're welcome, sweetie. You got some new clothes? Okay, dope.
Yeah, I got some bell bottom jeans.
Oh, yeah?
And these are bell bottom pants too.
Okay. My daughter just got some new clothes. She was thanking me. That's what's up. So, yeah, you know, a lot of the white on white crime is calculated. It's cold, it's callous. And on top of that, they got the biggest gang in the country, which we all know is the law enforcement. The biggest, most, and that's the sanction. That's like in Germany, that's like the Gestapo. That's like the, Hitler's personal police. And I would think that we would call ICE that now. We would call ICE that. ICE is like not like Trump's personal police. Okay.
The vast majority were white men, U.S. citizens, and I don't hear you going after them. I didn't hear you horrifying and crying over what happened to Ahmaud Arbery, a black man that was chased down by 3 white guys. Why is that? Where was your spiritual awakening then? But what you did do is this. You took Lincoln Riley and you used her as a martyr because she was a white girl and he was a brown person, and it fed into your fear-mongering. And you pulled out your white victim card and you find some way to be a victim. And you did the same thing last week in Utah. The reason these people got triggered last week in Utah is because they didn't think that the darkness would come over their front doorstep. They thought that other people would suffer the consequences of their words. And for the first time, they got a fraction of an inch of what it's like to be treated like a black person in this country. A fraction of an inch. And it scared the hell out of them. So they pulled out their white victim card once again. I'm the victim. I'm the victim. I mean, are you out of your damn mind? Do you all need to go get a psychiatric check? You need to seek.
That's exactly what the fuck is going on. When we are dealing with a people that it's called a reprobate mind. It's when you basically start to believe your own lies and create a culture around it. A reprobate mind, or cronus. I think I heard that word too. No, it's reprobate. Like when you have a reprobate mind, you believe your own bullshit. It's nothing and no logic that can help you out. So that's where this country has been. And now it's going to like uncharted territory, because post-Nazi Germany, like I said earlier, Nazi Germany based everything, all of their ideology on how they treated the Jewish people and how they lashed out at the Jewish people, on how America lashes out on black people here. So Nazi Germany did what they did, with the extermination camps, took it a whole step further, just wanted to exterminate them people. They did what they did. We looked like the good guy, went over there and played like we were the good guys, And I honestly think that America was against Germany because America wanted to hide its wicked ways, wanted to, they didn't want to bring light to all the shit that they do over here. So basically, let me go beat this little bully up. The big bully beat the little bully up. We both hate the same people, but let me beat this little bully up, make it seem like I'm a savior, right? So now this country is in uncharted territories because it's nobody. For one, we got social media, we got the internet, we got connectivity. Everybody can see what everybody doing 24/7. That's one major difference between now and then. Another thing is since this country has never atoned for nothing that it has done, and nobody seem to be wanting to be the big fascist, bad fascist country now that America can go and try to beat up on no more. Like, this country is obviously the big bad wolf at this point. Always have been. None of this shit is new. None of this shit is new. All this shit is old news. It's just now starting to get light because everybody got phones, everybody got internet connection. I used to think to myself before these phones, man, I used to think like, man, one day this country gonna be in trouble. You know, when Rodney King happened, I used to think to myself, when everybody have a phone or when more than one person have a phone, man, this country gonna be in trouble. I could never have imagined that one day in my lifetime, at that time, that I would be living through this era where everybody would have a goddamn phone. Everybody would be, I ain't know nothing about no internet at the time, but obviously that's the technology that needed to mature in order for us to do what we're able to do right now. So yeah, it's just amazing, man, to see where we at technology wise. I want to finish this video because I want to keep breaking it down.
The mental help. See, the problem with you fake Christians is this. You had no problem saying, oh, I can't judge people, right? But then you voted for a man who's an adjudicated rapist, convicted felon, insurrection, cheats on his wife, stole top secret documents, stole from cancer charities, insults disabled people, grabbed women by the PUSSY, says he wants to date his daughter, and does horrible atrocities to little girls. But hey,
yeah, man, that right there, man, that's some of the stuff, you know, I was basically screaming before the election, man, like, damn, like, bro, like, you really gonna vote for this guy? Like, man, like, his policy, he don't even got no policy for one. And then he's a convicted criminal, like, and now we all suffering, man. And it's just like what I was saying. That's why everything tied to Nazi Germany, because as bad as it gets here, these people are never going to admit that they was wrong. All they're going to do is basically try to mess with us more. If you notice, our people ain't really been saying too much. We've been chilling because we already knew what was about to happen. We knew what was about to happen when Barack got elected. We knew this day was going to come. I knew it was going to come. Most of us did. As nice as Barack was and everything, but that's why I said Barack, he should have damn near enslaved all the ancestors of the ones that enslaved us. All the descendants of the people that enslaved, like directly got the ones that, the ones that benefited, get their ass and put their ass in chains. Yeah, if you was here before 1865, shit, your ass going on a motherfucking plantation. That's what the fuck you should have did. Because you see what the fuck these motherfuckers doing now. They want to kill. They want to continue what their ancestors did to our ancestors. They want to kill. They want to hang. They want to motherfucking They don't want us. They been not want to see us with no motherfucking money. You know what I'm saying? They've been wanting to see us broke, fucked up, out here on drugs, sabotaging us and shit. Yeah, man. So Barack, when he got in there, I ain't saying all that. Now that's just for the, that's just, you know what I'm saying? That's just for the thrills or whatever you might want to call it. But he should have did some wild shit is the point. Shit. All right, I'm out, man.